Hello fam, welcome to our today's episode. And if you are here for the first time, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I am Ken and I'm a nutritionist. For my return subscribers, thanks a lot for your support. I will never take it for granted. So on our today's episode, we are discussing about a silent killer. But at the same time, you cannot afford to ignore the red flags of this silent killer. And it is called hypertension or high blood pressure. It is something very common, and actually 1.5 billion people across the globe are having the conditions. Now, most of the times there are no signs. There are no signs, but at times you can feel the signs. So that's why we are saying it is a silent killer and it is very dangerous. And on our today's episode, I just want us to discuss what are the causes. What could be the causes of this high blood pressure? We'll list them down, but many are the cases that you might not know the cause of the high blood pressure in patients or on a certain patient. But generally, on our today's episode, we're going to discuss about the causes of this disease, so that if you can just live healthy by avoiding the causes, it's better for you. So on our today's episode, let's just discuss about the high blood pressure. But now, the hypertension or high blood pressure, we have low blood pressure and high blood pressure. So on our today's episode, it is only about the high blood pressure. But on our next episode, we'll discuss about the causes of low blood pressure. But just for knowledge, if you find that yourself is having low blood pressure, when you go to the hospital, you will hear the doctor telling you that to drink a lot of water, which is 2 to 2.5 liters in a day. Just know that. Or maybe if a doctor asks you whether you're taking enough water, and just know that your blood pressure is low. So on our today's episode, without wasting much time, let's get into it. And one of the causes is physical inactivity. Physical inactivity is a risk factor for high blood pressure. And most of us, I know you will argue that I'm physically active. I do a lot of exercise. And I travel a lot, actually. I walk a lot from I don't know how many kilometers. But the main objective of physical activity is you sweat, because we say when you sweat is the time you burn those fats. But someone would claim that he or she is physically active, but maybe you walk a long distance but at a low pace. So that means you don't sweat. And if you don't sweat, definitely you have not burnt the fats. So our main objective about physical activity is that you sweat, because when you sweat, definitely you burn the fats. So that is the first cause. Physical inactivity is a risk factor for the blood pressure we're talking about. Number 2 is about genetics or family history. So family history generally, maybe at your place, your uncle, or maybe your grandmother, or maybe even your parents had the condition. So you are at risk of getting the hypertension because of the genetics or family history. So if it runs in your family, that could be a risk factor for you to maybe getting the disease. The next the next cause is unhealthy eating habits or diet. So diet influences or is a risk factor for hypertension. So if you are not eating healthy, and on my channel, in the upcoming videos, I will also discuss about the diets that influences someone to get to the disease. So unhealthy eating habits is also a risk factor for you getting the disease. the hypertension or high blood sugar, high blood pressure. Point number 4, we'll talk about the weight. Weight is also, weight also influences or it's a risk factor for someone getting the hypertension. And when we talk about the weight, it is if someone is obese or if someone is overweight. And you knowing that you're overweight or obese, you have to measure your weight and height, and something called body mass index is calculated so that we know whether you're overweight or obese or maybe over normal weight. So weight is also a risk factor for someone getting hypertension. And we've said if you are overweight or obese, you are at risk of getting high blood pressure. Point number 5 is excessive alcohol consumption, because actually alcohol interferes with your blood vessels, making them thick. Is it not thick? Thin. So excessive alcohol intake is a risk factor because it influences or interferes by thickening your blood vessels. And if your blood vessels are thick, that means your blood pressure will be high. So excessive alcohol intake is a risk factor for that. And actually there are some things in alcohol. There's something we call empty calories, whereby they increase your weight. So alcohol also risks you to have an increased weight. And remember, we've said when you are overweight or obese, you are at risk of getting the hypertension. So excessive alcohol intake is a risk factor for that. Next is about smoking. Smoking also will risk someone to getting this condition. And this condition we call hypertension is one of the diseases that we categorize them as chronic illnesses. It's a long-term thing. And it does not actually interfere with your life expectancy, if at all your adherence to drugs, and if at all your adherence to diet. So if your blood sugar levels, your blood pressure levels are well maintained, or if your blood pressure is well controlled, it will not interfere with your life expectancy. But if your blood pressure is not well controlled, it will interfere with that. So that's a point to note. About smoking, smoking is not healthy because actually it damages your blood vessels, hence increasing the risk of your blood pressure. So we've said the last point about excessive alcohol intake, as it interferes with your blood vessels by thickening them. Now this smoking also damages your blood vessels, and if your blood vessels are damaged, that means you'll have a high blood pressure. So smoking is also a risk factor for high blood pressure. So avoid smoking. The next point is about stress. Stress is a key thing, especially a chronic or a long-term stress. If you're mentally disturbed for long, it will influence you to have high blood pressure. We are human, we have families, and also we are working. You've also employed people at your maybe home place. You cannot avoid stress. But what we always say is that if you're stressed out, kindly manage it accordingly so that you may avoid things that come with chronic stress, like this blood pressure or even ulcers. The next cause of pressure is about age. Age is also a determinant factor. There are diseases that come with age, and one of them is what we are talking about. So if you are elderly or your age is about 50, 60, you are at risk of getting this disease called hypertension or high blood pressure. But that doesn't mean that if you are of young age, you cannot get the disease. You can, but it comes with the old age. The next one is about certain medical conditions. So if you have certain medical conditions or long-term diseases, like if you have the diabetes, or else if you have kidney issues. For example, with diabetes, and maybe your blood sugar levels are not well controlled, you have high blood sugars. High blood sugars damages your blood vessels, hence a risk factor for this disease we are calling hypertension. So certain medical conditions like diabetes, and also if you have kidney issues, you are at risk of getting this disease. And the last point is about medications. Some birth control pills may lead you to having this disease. So thanks for watching my video until the end. I hope someone has learned something new. These are diseases that are actually common in our country and globally. So we must be keen, we must live healthy so that we may avoid getting these diseases. So thanks a lot for watching my videos until the end. Let's meet in the next episode. Watch my video, share, comment sections. Let's meet there. And if you think maybe there's a topic you want us to discuss in our upcoming episodes, comment on the comment section. Just comment and I'll put that into considerations. Bye bye.